Poison. I wanted to be hysterical with the name. Um, so I was checking out a little bit of the political media that I can listen to, because I believe that at least people that don't know the right answers are asking the right questions. Let me tell you something, man. I got a lot of respect for Salty Cracker, whoever he is. Um, he's very much he's proven to be even more so than a lot of others. Um, is much more loyal to his values than his ideal bias, right? He is not happy with things at all. Right? He's not cute-heartedly trying to redirect rationalization into five-dimensional chess, which is starting to turn into the rhetoric of madness. The five-dimensional chess or like overpass. It's a or bypass, right? 5D chess is a bypass from using rational thought to ask you yourself, what do you really want to be the most honest about? Right? Now, of course, we're looking at the world of... On the one hand, there's a bunch of fucking things that are changing in the way government interfaces with humanity and life on this planet and everything else, which are improvements. But unfortunately, there's a lot of shit that I don't think should be going on as well, such as relationship to digital currency, relationship to AI. Digital currency should not be fucking handled. Like, if we can't get a handle on physical currency, if we can't fucking get our asses off of a Federal Reserve note and onto a U.S. Treasury note, a proper silver certificate for $1, and gold certificate for $20, if we can't get back onto that system, or something akin to it, then we should not be playing with the money of the future, because we will have a foundation for we won't have a foundation for the physical world. The physical money serves the physical world, and thus fills it with things like the need for a person and equipment to travel, and then all of the things that happen in commerce due to a need for something to physically move from place to place. Imagine that being the secondary foundation to your economy. Now your primary foundation to your economy is digital. What that means is that there is no need for human beings to go from place to place anymore, right? That was the whole point of the 15-minute city, was to eliminate the needs for the human body to leave its cell. So therefore, to eliminate the need um, for the human body as part of transhumanism. So I don't know if it's going to matter, but we have now reached the chapter in the book where we have I think it's the State Department. The State Department is now referring the president, the 44th president of the United States, to the DOJ for indictment at their discretion for, in her opinion, treason and sedition. Well, I mean, he is a sadist, so sedition, that makes perfect sense. So, if this is anything like the investigation into the ballot count by Rudy Giuliani, then this will just be a nice little fucking distraction, you know, for the guy who is telling you he has dismissed any significance to what has been said about all the particular criminal details allegedly of an international nature with figures such as Prince Andrew. And as you can see, the British Crown does indeed, as conspiracy theorists told you, still control the Commonwealth nations. England is still a major global player, economically speaking. And it takes something transcendent of British authority to do that. There's something going on there. This is why the king and the queen don't ever fucking show up, don't ever fucking act like they're there, like that they're influencing that place. That's what they've been doing the whole fucking time, right? Canada has been used as a proxy control of the British Empire over the United States since the rebellion. And all of their politeness is part of a mind control of keeping them British-minded. If America had stayed British colonies, we would have been Canada. We effectively just would have been part of a larger Canadian parliament. Effectively. Certainly including the Ohio Valley. The South probably would have gone a completely different route. That alternate timeline's fascinating. That's a weird timeline, but it's one that you could serve a lot of really cool fiction. But anyway, so the game is interesting because they do not have a player who's well equipped for it. I find it fascinating that that we've always believed X, Y, and Z things just about how any politician really is as a person in their demonstration of intelligence, command of the human language, because you would assume that by the merit of the power of your human language, like, you're a politician, right? And then you wonder, like, how did this work for Nancy Pelosi for so long, right? And at the end of the day, they're psychopaths hiding behind a scripted universe, right? So we have to go through some very interesting stuff. What you are seeing is a war on the first veil. That's what you're really seeing, a war on the first veil. The first veil is media mind control, the illusion, just it's the general illusion of the world. It's part of the false Maya, right? It is the projected nightmare or projected fantasy. It's not being rationally in the middle. It's got you thinking that you're safe in autopilot, or that you cannot escape autopilot when you're in a high enough stress position for it. Oh, this guy wants to go slow. He's like a gardener. He's got one of those big trucks. It's got a tow truck with lawn mowers and shit in the back of it. But anyway, so this follows in continuity. Here's my point. Here's honestly what I think is going on. I don't know who is the cause, but I am able to tell you the patterns of the effect which lead you to the cause over time, and it's best not to waste your time staring at it, because it's going to take... It's the principle of Yera is in effect for this kind of fucking vision, which is all you can do, because Yera's the disconnected room, right? You are sitting all the way back here in Kenaz, trying to expand the perception of your reality to wrap this situation around your head, and then you're seeing it. And you're trying to narrow it down, because from your perspective, you gotta look through the wide aspect of it. So think of Kenaz as you trying to pierce the veil. You are the Kenaz on the left, the veil is the Kenaz that is mirrored to you on the right. And that's the projection within Plato's cave, right? So you're trying to pierce the veil with Kenaz. And that's the energy of Yera, right? So there is a force that is, it's a very hierophantic force in our government right now, where that hierophantic force is looking at the situation, and it's given you a very tricky puzzle box but this isn't the Hellraiser puzzle box, right? this is very much a it's more like a Rubik's cube, right? You want to straighten everything out within it, so that way everything is organized and makes sense and brings things to form. And the difference is that this Rubik's cube isn't solid colors. Each side is a complete mosaic thought. And so when you set the Rubik's cube properly, it unlocks all of the thoughts into clarity, and then you can look at all 6 sides of the cube and get a double trajectory or a double triangulation, excuse me, because you've got 6 sides operating in your favor. So you get this double trajectory, which is what Yera is. It's like solving the Rubik's Cube, right? And that will give you enough information to successfully indict and prosecute. And so there's a psychic relationship that the Hierophant is serving. And that was the tell when Trump asked, why are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? It's because that reporter bringing it up is merely serving the false argument. And it's infuriating to us because we wanted somebody who could answer that question, saying something along the lines of our fucking conversation. So that's why people think there's 5D chess going on. It's not Trump. It's there's this hierophantic force behind him, and we can still easily lose. This hierophantic force is, I believe, and the valid ghost in the machine, the valid one, as in the constitutional. It's something baked into the magic of our republic from its inception. Right? It's a valid psychic filter, meaning because this is of this nature within this branch of government, it requires X, Y, and Z psychic frequencies for somebody in government to know that the public has evolved and we can bring this acceptably into the national consciousness, which will then have the effect of cleaning out many distortions in the first veil. So we have an ethical responsibility to handle things more wisely. We are at a point where we cannot afford to not verify the independent trivium-based intelligence that needs to underline the field of expertise you are expecting from the said voices that are the elevated aspects of our own psyche, right? Sometimes I am glad I hear Salty Cracker say something that I may agree with. I'm like, great. I'm glad that that idea is elevated. I share that idea in my psyche. And some people hit those notes more than others, to the point where I can fluidly say something that backs them up in that particular context. So, if this treason thing is for real, we can botch it by our own doing, right? We can drop the ball. So, for those that are not going to be playing the game, you can observe in context to what you can see after hearing this video and what I've just said. And look for the patterns in the effect and trace it back to its cause. And you'll start to have a better grasp on what's being done wrong, process, order of operations, cognitive ideas, so on and so forth. All right. Oh, man. All right. I gotta get my shit together and start hauling ass on this goddamn job. Thanks for tuning in.